Project 80 is lamp, speaker, and fan in parallel. For the first part of the project, I'm going to turn on the slide switch and the motor and lamp will come on. For the first part, I don't put the fan on the motor, but now I'm going to do just that and push the press switch. Nothing happened. When I turn on the slide switch, the lamp is not as bright because now the fan is using more energy to spin due to the fan, which it needs to rotate. So there's less battery power to light the lamp, and it'll be more obvious if your batteries are weaker. The speaker is just a resistor in this circuit and doesn't have any other purpose. Project 80 is pencil alarm. You would need a sharp pencil and carefully fill in this rectangle shape on the page, but don't rip the paper, and fill it in several times so that you have a thick, even layer of pencil lead. And then you would make sure you would have both jumper wires touch that shape, and depending on how conductive the lead is, an alarm will sound. I don't think it's enough to trigger the alarm, but you kind of get the idea. You could even wet the area to maximize conductivity, but I think it doesn't really work right now. I need to do it many more times, but I don't want to damage the paper. But you basically know how it works, and then there are different variants for Project 81 as well. Project 83 is fun with the alarm integrated circuit. I have the alarm integrated circuit connected with the music IC, and I also have many other components included. And for the first part of this project, I'm going to turn on the slide switch, but leave these jumper wires disconnected. You hear the happy birthday song and the sound of a machine gun. Now I'm going to tap the whistle chip. The fan isn't operating right now, but for the second part, I'm going to cover the resistor. Now it sounds like a police car siren. You just have to tap the press switch to reset the music integrated circuit. Now I'm going to hold down the press switch, and the siren is supposed to sound like that of an ambulance. When I uncover the photoresistor but hold down the press switch, it will still be a machine gun sound. Now I'm going to connect the jumper wires as shown. The red LED will come on, and then the lamp and motor will come on too. They're not at full power because they're connected in series. The motor draws a lot of power from the batteries, and that might cause the sound to be distorted. But there are so many different things you can do with this circuit. You can see the sound is more, you hear that the sound is more distorted, but still fun. For Project 84, Motor Sounds Combo, I have the alarm integrated circuit placed directly over the music integrated circuit, and when I turn on the slide switch, you will hear both music and a police car siren. And the lamp, although it may be hard to tell, is on. If I put my hand over behind it, it's easier to see. Then the lamp also will change in brightness. You can see that it may be a little bit more dim, but I am going to press the press switch, and the music plays again, and the motor spins. It's possible on this setting the fan will fly off just like it did, but you get to have the fan included with a combination music and alarm system. Turn the slide switch to stop the sound altogether. Project 85 is similar to Project 84, but I removed the lamp, and when I turn on the slide switch now, the combination, the musical alarm is not as loud. But when I push the press switch, the fan spins and flies off, and it goes further than it did in the previous project because now the lamp is excluded and the motor has more battery power to use. Project 86 is music alarm combo. When I turn on the slide switch, you'll hear the happy birthday song playing along with a police car siren, but when I push the press switch, you hear a fire engine siren. It only sounds when the switch is held down. Then, when I cover the photoresistor, the music stops. The photoresistor controls the music, I say. The motor here is only used as a 3-snap wire and it has no function other than that. But you can get a unique variety of sounds by holding down the press switch and covering the photoresistor. The lamp lights, but it's very dim. Project 87 is bomb sound. When I turn on the slide switch, you'll hear the sound of a bomb dropping and then a pretend explosion. Watch the red LED carefully. You might not be able to see it through the camera, but it flashes as the bomb explodes. You might be able to see it flicker a little bit. This is just one of many sounds that the Space War integrated circuit generates. Now for 88, bomb sound 2, you're supposed to replace the slide switch with the motor, and then when you turn the shaft, it will sound like there are multiple bombs dropping. But all I hear is a buzzing sound and the red LED does not light. But again, it's supposed to sound like multiple bombs dropping at once, like those from a fighter plane. Project 89 is light-controlled LED. When there is light on the photoresistor, the LED flickers. But when I cover the photoresistor, the LED shuts off. Remove my hand, and the LED comes back on. That's because the photoresistor is controlling the LED by turning it on when there's light and off when there is no light. This is touch light. I replaced the photoresistor with the whistle chip, and now when I tap the whistle chip hard enough, the red LED comes on for a little bit. And you can see how long it will stay on. It's a little tricky. You really have to hit the whistle chip, but don't damage it. Be careful not to damage it for the LED to stay on. You could also be very loud, and you might be able to activate the whistle chip to turn on the LED. Project 91 is touch sound. Using the circuit from Project 90, I replaced the LED with the speaker, and now when I tap the whistle chip, you hear a lot of different noises from the speaker. Every time you tap the whistle chip enough, the Space War integrated circuit cycles through the different sounds. Pretty cool. Project 92 is Water Space War. I'm going to put the ends of these two jumper wires in this cup of water and make sure that they don't touch each other. And you hear Space War sounds. It's like a Space War alarm. And then you can change the sound by lifting one of the jumper wires out of the water and putting it back in. Just like that. I'll go through all 8 sounds. And there we are. For Water Space War 2, I moved the jumper wires from points D1 and F1 to D3 and F3. Now when I put the black jumper wire in the cup, you hear sounds playing, but let's see if we can hear all 8 sounds. Sounds like you can. Relocating the jumper wires does not affect the performance of the circuit, in that you can still hear all the sounds. 94 is Human Space War. Instead of putting the ends of the jumper wires in water, I am going to touch them with my fingers and see what happens. Nothing happens. But I am going to dip my fingers in the water and try again. Now I can get the Space War integrated circuit to sound in a small degree. It's not as effective as directly immersing the jumper wires in water, as you can see, but this shows that your fingers can conduct enough current to have at least some effect on getting the circuit to work, and in this case, the Space War integrated circuit to make sounds. Project 95 is Nosier Water Space War. Now, I have the press switch included, but first I'm going to put the ends of the jumper wires in the cup of water, and now the sound is louder, as you might notice if you watch the previous projects. And then, alternatively, you could push the press switch to activate the sounds without immersing the jumper wires in water. I'm not going to do it, but you could also place your fingers between the contacts of the jumper wires and see if the Space War integrated circuit sounds too. Project 96 is Light/Water Space War. I replaced the speaker with the LED, and when I put the jumper wires in water, the LED flickers. And removing the wires and placing them back in may not seem to make a difference, but according to the sound that is played, the LED might flicker in different patterns. For some sounds, it flickers more than others. But you could also activate the press switch. Hold it down for it to work. 97 is or/and Space War Light. I replaced the LED with the lamp, the L1 lamp, and this is an example of an OR gate circuit in that you can, or a combination, or and/and gate circuit, because you can either put the jumper wires in water for the lamp to light even though it's not very bright, or you could push the press switch. However, if I was to put the jumper wires in and push the press switch, the lamp might be brighter, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So this is more of an OR gate circuit. Project 98 is Simple Water Alarm. I am going to place the ends of these jumper wires in water. And, well, it's supposed to trigger an alarm, a police car siren, but if I directly touch the wires together, then you will hear that. But ideally, the water is supposed to cause the alarm to go off, and this could be like a good flood alarm if it works, of course. You could have longer wires laid across your basement floor, and then if your basement floods in a storm, then it could alert you to the flooding. Although ideally you would use an amplifier to make the sound louder so you could hear it. 99 is simple saltwater alarm. I added a little bit of salt to the water, although I probably shouldn't have added more. But you should see whether salt water conducts electricity more than clear water. And ideally it is. Salt water is a better conductor of electricity than regular water. You could also try holding the ends of the jumper wires together and see if that works. Now, of course, I couldn't trigger an actual alarm, but you hear a buzzing sound and it's louder than in the previous project, indicating that salt water has more conductivity. Project 100 is ambulance water alarm. I placed a 2-snap wire between points A and B here, and let's see what happens when I immerse the jumper wires in. You just hear a buzzing sound, but it's supposed to sound like an ambulance. The last project for this section of Snap Circuits Extreme, and it would also be the last project for Snap Circuits Junior, would be the ambulance contact alarm. You would touch the ends of the jumper wires together, and you could easily tell the difference between whether or not the circuit detects water or a direct connection, in this case between the two jumper wires, and then just remove them and the sound stops. I hope that you enjoyed this portion of Snap Circuits and also the Snap Circuits Junior experiments. I'm going to be moving on to the regular Snap Circuits experiments, as it would be considered in Kit 300, which is Snap Circuits 300. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to continuing to demonstrate these projects for all of you.